This is a business presentation for the class Management 4860 presented to you by Jennifer Kmetzsch, Devon Means, Cameron Walch, Sierra Nelson, and Jordan Tanner. In this presentation, we will be introducing the Chinese electric vehicle company NIO, presenting a situational analysis, providing you with data and information on how the company is currently performing in the electric vehicle industry, and providing a strategic assessment analyzing NIO's current strategy, where NIO can improve, and how NIO can implement these improvements. We will be comparing NIO to its other competitors, looking at how they are performing. Our suggested improvements will provide NIO with a solid starting point of how to better compete in the EV market, vital to achieving higher performance. NIO's mission and vision are almost identical: to shape a joyful lifestyle by offering premium smart electric vehicles and providing the best user experience. Their website states, "We want to redefine what premium service means for a car company. When the ownership experience exceeds expectations, electric vehicles will simply become the natural choice for everyone, leading to a more sustainable tomorrow." In their fourth quarter and full year 2018 financial results released in March, NIO listed the following objectives and expectations for the first quarter of 2019. NIO has 3 lines of smart EVs currently in production: the EP9, the ES8, and the ES6. NIO has developed its own adaptive driver assistance systems built in each car called NIO Pilot, and NIO also has its own AI engine called NOMI. The services NIO provides focus on charging solutions for customers as well as other vehicle services like insurance, maintenance and repairs, courtesy car services, roadside assistance, and data packages for the smart EVs. NIO also provides a social network and club for its customers, setting it apart from its competitors. NIO was founded in November of 2014, but was then called Next Car Incorporated, founded by CEO William Li in Shanghai, China. In 2015, Next Car earned a lot of publicity for themselves through an EV racing event and subsequently set a world record in 2016 with their EP9. In October of 2016, Next Car was issued its autonomous vehicle testing permit from the California DMV, allowing it to start testing autonomous vehicles on the roads. In July of 2017, Next Car was renamed NIO. In April of 2018, NIO entered into multiple contracts to continue business in China. In August, NIO filed for an IPO on the New York Stock Exchange, and then on September 12th, NIO was listed on the New York Stock Exchange. NIO has headquarters in both China and California, with other locations in San Francisco and Germany, creating a global network and community. On this page, we have all of NIO's industry information, including the primary and secondary SIC codes, the New York Stock Exchange symbol, which is identical to their name, as well as the CUSIP number. The SIC codes both deal with the manufacturing and maintenance of their EVs. NIO has had a strong global presence from the start, starting with their first EV, the EP9, setting world records for EVs. NIO offers unique services like multiple power charging options and services to care for customers' needs, showing how much NIO truly values the customer's experience. NIO has also developed its own driving technologies found in each of their cars. These technologies are also advanced and give NIO a strong competitive advantage over its competitors. NIO has only been around since 2014, where some of its competitors have been around since the 1990s. Only recently producing EVs. But these competitors already have an established loyal customer base, which is something that NIO will need to continue to develop.
NIO has been performing very well financially. They filed publicly last year, last September to be exact, so we only have data from that time. Here are a few graphs that will help explain why they are doing pretty well for the data that we have, but they are doing pretty well for the time that they have in public. So the inventory turnover ratio, NIO is a little bit under than their competitors. And the hard part is, like I said, is we only have data for a little bit, but in comparison to previous years from the other competitors, they're doing very well. The debt to equity ratio, they are again on the lower end of the spectrum, but are extremely close to the average. Tesla is just booming over the other companies that we are comparing right now. According to many different resources, the goal is to have this ratio above 2. With that being said, they're not doing the best at that. This is one thing that the company can definitely improve on, but with them being public, it is very new. We don't know what's going to be happening here in the near future. Now with the investor performance, their stock price It is a lot less than other competitors. It's very close to some, but at the same time, I mean, comparing it to Tesla, it's nothing. But based off the analyst's decision to hold the stock, the price of the stock should not reflect how well NIO is doing. That means it has a lot of potential for growth. And that is exactly what we need from an investor standpoint. We want to buy low and sell high, right? Now, NIO does have pretty good customer reviews. The review that I was looking at, more importantly, was actually about an SUV. They call it the ES8. It has a 4 out of 5 star rating. That is pretty good. It's actually very competitive. The Model S that Tesla makes has the exact same rating, and that car is very widely known, and a lot of people have purchased it. And it has the exact same rating, which is actually really incredible. It is pretty good to have the same rating as one of the most popular vehicles that are out there. Now, the employee reviews, I'm going to compare it to Tesla again, just because Tesla is such a huge and very well-known company. Tesla employees gave them a rating of 3.3, and that's according to Glassdoor. Whereas NIO has a review score of 3.7, and that's making it more desirable to work there. Now, the performance summary, the ratios talked about previously are very relatable to the competitors and or the leaders within the industry. We think that they have time on their side and they are only going to improve. They're already really close number-wise to Tesla, Tata Motors, and Candy. They're only going to improve over time. These vehicles that they're making are there to help people save money and make the environment better. That is a win-win for the business. After all, the world is changing to try and go more and more green every day.
Now moving on and looking at the external analysis, we want to look at the general environment. There has been major growth worldwide. This graph demonstrates the growth shown here in the US. Though electric seems to be growing very fast, it still has a long way to go to surpass gas-powered vehicles. Moving on, we would like to talk about the PESTEL analysis, which is political, economic, social, technology, environment, and laws. So this just gives us a basic view of how the overall environment is and how it's accepted in different countries and different economies with different governments. As we can see, there are many pros to their business plan and their type of vehicle with this PESTEL analysis. Socially, they're becoming more acceptable and stations are popping up, and many laws regarding fuel efficiency requirements actually are prohibiting the growth of gas-powered vehicles. With everything we do, it is good to analyze the pros and the cons. Here we are calling them opportunities and threats. As we see, there are many opportunities in technology and customer preferences, but also facing possible threats with foreign trade and the shortage of skilled workers for expansion. These are serious considerations that we need to make looking to the future.
When we look at some of NIO's tangible company resources, capital is the first one that comes to mind. In 2018, they had $1.46 billion in net income, so they're definitely doing well and performing well in their market. Along with that, they have an investor/partner. They're called Tencent Holdings, which owns about 21.5% of the company and is likely a strong source of their funding. Additionally, NIO sells through a unique distribution channel. They have their own network of NIO houses and mobile smart apps. And with that, they've built out a pretty robust customer service system, including home charging solutions, battery swapping services, a mobile charging service through charging trucks, 24-hour on-demand, just a really robust customer service system. When we took a look at their intangible resources, the first one that really popped out was their brand reputation. They're known as the Chinese Tesla, which is quite an honor to be called that. It's really a good nickname. There's also trademarks and patents on their next generation technology and connectivity, automatic driving, and artificial intelligence. Any of the work of the employees is considered intellectual property. And lastly, software and technology that's needed to make the app work, to make the cars run, and for research and development. Most of these are strengths of NIO's, but a few of them could be also looked at as weaknesses. Their distribution channel could actually be holding them back. Were they to look into other distribution channels, they could see better performances there. Additionally, when we did our VRIN analysis, we found that a lot of the intangible resources weren't really rare, and a few of them were not substitutable. So there was a little bit of weakness in there. Overall, NIO's company resources look pretty strong, and they use them to their advantage pretty well.
NIO has chosen to follow the focus differentiation strategy the closest, and this is because with cars, you generally can't do a ton to differentiate yourself from the competition besides certain aspects. So, in order to differentiate themselves from the competition, they have gone beyond the tangible aspects and they offer things like a NIO only member club with social activities. With this club, owners are able to attend a variety of social events, which tend to be seen with members of like country clubs or things like that, not with car owners. And you can go to things like classes, you have meeting rooms and stuff like that. There's also a customer app which connects to a whole social network of other owners, like I talked about. Offer a mobile charging subscription package where a company vehicle will travel to the customer's location to supply it with power, and a subscription package for free maintenance and repair options with pickup/delivery options. NIO is going beyond basically what you can see of a car and how it performs, but they're trying to make it so there's a whole social network of opportunity for these NIO car owners. Their current competitive position, the big competitors are Tesla, Lucid, and Karma. But NIO is in a good competitive position. They're growing in sales each year, which is obviously a great sign. Being based in China, they're in a good position due to generous regulations with electric cars. And, in China, of course, the pollution and the traffic is awful. And so the Chinese government has offered various incentives for owners of electric vehicles, such as increased access to carpool lanes. They also cap licenses offered each month to limit the amount of cars on the road. However, electric vehicles are exempt from this. NIO has taken steps to improve its market position by coming out with new and improved products, as well as additional benefits of being a NIO car owner, which I described in the last slide. And the actions to improve its market position seem to be working as they are growing in sales each year.
NIO struggles with achieving high productivity due to the nature of the industry as well as the happiness of its employees. Although NIO has developed its own technology, that technology is not uncommon or rare, so NIO will need to find ways to stand out in this area. NIO excels with a focused differentiation strategy, and its customers seem to think so as well. NIO stands out from its competitors by offering additional incentives to its customers for being a NIO car owner. NIO receives a lot of incentives being located in China, but because of this, it also struggles with the ability to overcome trade relations with the rest of the world. Overall, NIO is doing extremely well for how long it has existed. NIO offers unique luxury products and experiences to its customers while competing in a thriving market.
A SWOT analysis is used to look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats to a company. We broke it down into a Punnett square, having strength opportunities, strength threats, weakness opportunities, and weakness threats. Throughout the presentation, we'll be giving an in-depth analysis on all of this. To go over some of the strengths that NIO has, we look at number one, market leadership position. They've positioned themselves very well in their market, and in China, they've been extremely profitable. Now, as they continue to innovate and grow, hopefully they can expand into the US and other foreign markets to keep growing. Now, we can't always just look at the positives and the strengths of this company. We also need to analyze some of the weaknesses that they may have. One weakness that sticks out to me is number two, employee replacement. At NIO, they do a very tough technical work and they are constantly innovating. It is hard to find new employees that are skilled in the craft. This has become and will be in the future a very difficult task to overcome. But so far, those weaknesses haven't overcome the strengths that NIO has been able to demonstrate. Here we'll take a look at the competitive position of NIO. NIO have tried to position themselves as a high-quality vehicle like one of their competitors in Tesla, but they want to be able to make the car accessible to more people. While most Tesla vehicles are great, most people cannot afford them. By taking this approach, corporate is going after a best cost provider strategy. NIO is attempting to offer the highest quality at the very best price without it being detrimental to success. So far, it has been a bit of a learning process, but NIO seems to be headed in the right direction moving forward.
There are two main problem statements that I want to go over. The first one is there are many different companies currently competing in the electrical vehicle market. The threat of substitution could be highly based on the fact that there are many different options. There's also options for consumers to go back to gas-powered vehicles. And just like any other company, they have to be different. They have to be able to gain a good position in the market and gain a good portion of the market share. And NIO has to make it very well known why people should choose them over another company, just like Tesla. They have to go to the correct market. They have to go after them. They have to find their niche and what they need to do to help those people specifically. If this is not done, consumers have many different options to choose from. Another problem statement is high turnover of employees at the lower levels is also a concern for NIO. Based on the Glassdoor rating, they do not have a terrible workplace. It is just a fact that with lower levels or entry levels of any company, attrition is going to be harder to maintain. Creating a good workplace will only help the achievements of a company. The people at the very bottom of the corporate ladder can be the most important. They're the ones that are having conversations with actual customers. They're the ones that actually know how the customers feel when they are having a difficult time. If NIO can have a high attrition rate, so more people are staying, that means that they will be able to start treating customers right. They will enjoy working there, so they'll have a better attitude. There have been articles that explain that customer service can also be the new marketing. So that can be very true. They are able to get their name out there just based off of a very good customer service kind of atmosphere. And also referrals are incredible and will only help out the business. The strategy that NIO needs to take priority on actually has to do with Tesla. They actually have an incredible SUV that is available to consumers. It has a much better battery range that is able to travel more than double the distance than NIO's SUV. In order for NIO to compete, they need to find a way for their SUV to travel further distances without having to recharge. As to kind of go into more detail about that, electric vehicles are fairly new to the world. Just like any new industry, it's just going to continue to get better and better. Companies are going to find more and more ways to make things more efficient and last longer. There are not as many charging stations out there as there should be. For the amount of electrical vehicles that are out there, there needs to be a lot more. Most likely there will be more charging stations that continue to pop up over the world just because of the increase of demand for them. While it is still a new industry though, many consumers are worried about traveling far distances. If NIO cannot correct the battery and extend the length, then Tesla, their rival, will take over more of the market share. People want something that lasts a long time, not only for many years, but also for when they go on a trip. So they want it to last many miles. NIO could potentially lose a lot of their customers because their vehicles cannot travel as much or as far as other electric vehicles.
In response to the problem of NIO having to compete with the Tesla SUV, which has a longer battery life, NIO has a few strategic options it can do to pursue this. They should partner with Northvolt, which is an up-and-coming manufacturer of electric vehicle batteries. Northvolt would be eager to become relevant in the battery industry, so they would jump at a sort of opportunity to become relevant. They can develop a battery which lasts significantly longer. Because Northvolt is a new company, they're going to be looking for ways to grow, and a partnership with NIO would be a perfect opportunity. The other thing they could do is they could look at working with BYD, which is a China-based company that produces electric vehicle batteries with some of the lowest manufacturing costs. So not only will NIO have low costs in producing the batteries, but they will have easy access to these batteries because the company is based in China. So they will be able to access their new batteries quite easily.
We evaluated the pros and cons of both of our strategic options and ended up finding a solution that fits both of NIO's issues. The first being that they need SUVs to be able to compete in that competitive market, and the second that they need to increase their battery life, because electric vehicles are a fairly new concept to the world, making charging stations less common. A partnership with Northvolt would help NIO create a longer-lasting battery with more power that could increase their battery life of their electric car vehicle batteries. These batteries could also help NIO move into the SUV market and position them in a better place to compete against their competitors. Northvolt recently entered into a partnership with some big players like Volkswagen in the effort to help create a cleaner cell battery, and we want to leverage this partnership. One issue that we see with the partnership that wouldn't be a problem if we'd chosen the other option to partner with BYD is the cost. While BYD has some of the lowest manufacturing costs out there, we feel like the slightly higher prices brought to the table from Northvolt are worth it if it helps NIO address both of the issues of the SUV market and the battery life. As mentioned before, Northvolt partnered with some big companies like Volkswagen to begin the research to create a sustainable clean cell battery. And we recommend joining this alliance because everyone who's a part of it will essentially benefit from the combined research efforts. This is something we really haven't seen before. Usually companies hide this information and keep it to themselves. So overall, we think this will be a more financially savvy research plan and that they'll gain better insights from this collaborative effort. Specifically, we plan on leveraging Northvolt's new research lab that's being built in Sweden. This lab is going to help with the research efforts, looking into raw materials for production, cell technology, cell production process, and recycling. This lab should be finished in the next few months, and we expect that research will begin immediately. This could be a little bit of a costly process, but again, we think that the cost will be spread out among all the contributors, and it could really give NIO the competitive advantage they really need to flourish in this emerging electric vehicle market as a clean, sustainable provider of electric cars.
There is a lot of room for improvement, and NIO has strong competitors that have a loyal customer base. In order to compete effectively, NIO needs to make adjustments and possible partnerships if it is going to cater more towards customers' needs. These partnerships will result in manufacturing that meet both NIO and their customers' needs, strengthening their overall market position and resulting in stronger, more loyal customers. This should propel NIO to become a more direct competitor with Tesla, resulting in higher profit margins, increased inventory turnover, and potentially a higher debt-to-equity ratio. Not making these changes could result in a stagnant competitive position and could even cost NIO more in the long run.